Let them miss you. I think there comes a time in every person's journey when you must step back, not in retreat, not in fear, but in divine alignment with your worth. There comes a moment when you realize that your presence is a gift, not a guarantee, that your energy is sacred, not something to be taken for granted. And in that moment, you must make a choice. Will you continue to pour yourself into spaces that do not honor you? Will you keep showing up where you are not celebrated? Or will you have the courage to say, no more? If you do not see my value, then I will remove myself until you do. Let me tell you something profound. Let them miss you. Because absence has a way of teaching people what they failed to learn in your presence. Distance has a way of clarifying what was once blurred by familiarity. When you are always there, always available, always giving, people forget what life is like without you. They forget the light you bring, the wisdom you carry, the love you pour into every room. But when you step away, when you reclaim your time, your energy, your power, something miraculous happens. They remember. I want you to think about the times you've stayed too long in situations that no longer served you. The friendships where you were the only one reaching out. The relationships where you were the only one fighting. The workplaces where you were the only one going above and beyond, yet never truly seen. What did staying in those spaces cost you? Your peace, your joy, your sense of self? Here's the truth. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. When you allow yourself to be taken for granted, you silently give permission for it to continue. But when you decide that you deserve more, when you refuse to settle for crumbs, when you are a full course meal, you shift the entire dynamic. Walking away is not weakness. It is strength. It is not surrender. It is strategy. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is remove yourself and let the silence speak for you. Have you ever noticed how we only truly appreciate certain things once they're gone? The warmth of the sun after days of rain, the comfort of home after a long journey, the sound of a loved one's voice after time apart. The same is true for relationships, for love, for respect. People do not always recognize what they have until it is no longer readily available to them. This is not about playing game. This is about understanding human nature. When you are always there, always giving, always accommodating, people begin to expect it rather than appreciate it. But when you pull back, when you redirect your energy toward yourself and your purpose, you create space for them to feel your absence. And in that space, they are forced to confront what you truly mean to them. Some will rise to the occasion. They will reach out. They will reflect. They will realize what they've been taking for granted. And those are the ones worth keeping. But others will let you go without a second thought. And that, my friends, is also a gift, because it means they were never truly meant to occupy the sacred space of your life. Letting people miss you is not about manipulation. It is about self-respect. It is about recognizing that you are not an option. You are a priority. And if others do not see that, then they do not deserve access to you. You must know your worth so deeply that when people treat you as less, their behavior becomes unacceptable to you. Not because you are prideful, but because you understand the divine value placed on your life. You were not created to beg for love, for respect, for recognition. You were created to walk in the fullness of who you are and to allow only those who honor that truth to walk beside you. So how do you do it? So how do you let them miss you? You start by filling your own cup. You pour into yourself your dreams, your healing, your joy, You stop waiting for others to validate you and begin validating yourself. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable and start standing tall in your truth. And then you step back, you stop chasing, you stop over-explaining, you stop bending over backward for those who wouldn't even bend sideways for you. You release the need to prove your worth because deep down you already know it. And here's what happens when you do. The right people will notice. The right people will fight for you. The right people will realize that your absence has left a void they cannot ignore. And those who don't, they were never yours to begin with. This is the power of let them miss you. It is not about punishment. It is about elevation. It is about refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It is about trusting that if it's meant to be, space will not break it. It will reveal its strength. So today I challenge you, stop begging for a seat at tables where you are not honored. Stop dimming your light so others can shine. Stop giving your all to those who only give you crumbs in return. Walk away. Let them feel what it's like without you. And watch how the universe responds. Because when you know your worth, you don't have to convince others of it. You simply live in it unapologetically. And those who are meant to be in your life, oh, they'll find their way back. But this time, they'll know exactly what you're worth. And so will you. There comes a time in every person's journey when you must step back, not in retreat, not in fear, but in divine alignment with your worth. This moment arrives quietly, often after years of giving, of compromising, of making yourself smaller to fit into spaces that were never designed to hold the fullness of who you are. It comes when you finally realize that your presence is not an obligation to be fulfilled, but a gift to be cherished. That your energy is not an infinite resource to be drained, but a sacred flame to be protected. And in that moment of awakening, you face the most important decision of your life. Will you continue to pour from an empty cup? Or will you have the courage to say, let me tell you something that will change everything for you. Let them miss you, not as punishment, not as manipulation, but as the highest form of self-love. Because here's the profound truth that will set you free. People only value what they have to reach for. They only appreciate what they risk losing. Your constant presence, your endless availability, your perpetual giving. These things don't make people cherish you more. They make people forget your worth. But when you step away, when you reclaim your power, that's when miracles happen. I want you to understand this deeply. Absence is the greatest teacher. It's in the space you create when you walk away that people finally see what was always there. The love they took for granted, the light they became accustomed to, the wisdom they stopped listening to. It's only when you're gone that they remember how much richer their life was with you in it. This isn't just about relationships. It's about every area of your life where you've been undervalued, overlooked, or taken for granted. Your career, your friendships, your family, your dreams. Let me share with you the 3 most powerful lessons about letting people miss you. First, your absence speaks louder than your presence ever could. When you're always there, always available, always giving, people stop hearing you. Your words become background noise. Your efforts become expected. Your love becomes ordinary. But when you remove yourself, suddenly the silence echoes with your worth. Suddenly they're listening for the sound of your voice that they used to ignore. Suddenly they're noticing the empty space where your light used to shine. Second, distance reveals truth. You'll discover who truly values you when you're not constantly making yourself available. The people who reach out, those are your people. The ones who don't, they were never yours to begin with. This revelation is painful but necessary because you deserve relationships where you're chosen, not tolerated. where you're celebrated, not just present, where you're valued, not just convenient. Third, letting people miss you isn't about them, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about remembering that you are complete all by yourself. That your worth isn't determined by who chases you or who doesn't. It's your value exists whether anyone recognizes it or not. This is the foundation of true confidence, knowing that you are enough, exactly as you are, whether anyone else sees it or not. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if they don't miss me? What if they don't come back? My dear friend, that's the most important question of all, because here's the life-changing truth. If they don't miss you, they were never meant to be in your life to begin with. Their absence is the gift that makes room for what's truly meant for you. The right people will always find their way back. The wrong ones will show you exactly why they needed to go. This is where your transformation begins. This is where you stop begging for scraps and start feasting at the table of your own self-worth. Because you, yes, you are a banquet. You are not an option. You are not a backup plan. You are not someone's just in case. You are the main event. You are the dream come true. You are the answered prayer. And anyone who doesn't see that, that's their loss, not yours. Or how do you do this? How do you let people miss you in a way that honors your worth? Let me guide you. Stop explaining yourself to people who've proven they don't deserve an explanation. Your worth isn't up for debate. Your value isn't a negotiation. Either they see it or they don't. Either they honor it or they lose it. It's that simple. Fill your own cup first. Stop waiting for others to validate you and start validating yourself. Stop seeking external approval and start approving of yourself. The most attractive quality in the world is someone who knows their worth and isn't afraid to honor it. Every minute you spend chasing someone who doesn't value you is a minute stolen from your destiny. Take that energy and pour it into your purpose, into your growth, into becoming so aligned with your highest self that the right people can't help but be drawn to you. Trust the process. The universe always makes space for what's meant for you. If something walks away and doesn't come back, it was never yours. If it comes back, it was always meant to be. Either way, you win. I want you to imagine something powerful. Imagine your life a year from now. Imagine looking back at this moment as the turning point. The moment you stopped settling. The moment you stopped begging. The moment you stood up and declared, I am worth missing. Because here's what I know for sure. When you start treating yourself like the prize, the world will start treating you that way too. This isn't about playing hard to get. This is about being hard to forget. There's a difference. One is a game, the other is a lifestyle. One is manipulation, the other is self-respect. You're not trying to make people want you. You're becoming someone who's impossible to take for granted. Let me tell you what happens when you embrace this way of being. You become magnetic. Not because you're chasing attention, but because you're radiating self-worth. You become peaceful. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're no longer dependent on others for your happiness. You become powerful, not over others, but over your own life. This is the secret that changes everything. So today, right now, I want you to make a decision. Decide that you're done with half-hearted love. Decide that you're done with one-sided relationships. Decide that you're done with being an option when you deserve to be a priority. Then do the bravest thing you'll ever do. Walk away. Not in anger, not in spite, but in love. Love for yourself. Love for your future. Love for the divine being you were created to be. Because here's the miracle waiting for you on the other side of this decision. When you let people miss you, you give them the opportunity to rise to your worth. Some will, some won't. But those who do, they'll come back different. They'll come back clearer. They'll come back ready to love you the way you've always deserved to be loved. And those who don't, they'll have given you the greatest gift of all, this space for what's truly meant for you. This is your moment. This is your awakening. This is your invitation to step into the life you were born for. A life where you're valued, a life where you're cherished, a life where you're not just present, you're celebrated. All it takes is one courageous decision. Let them miss you. Then watch how the universe rearranges itself to honor your worth. The choice is yours. The power is yours. The future is yours. What will you do with it? There comes a moment in every life when the soul whispers a truth too powerful to ignore. You were never meant to beg for love, to negotiate your worth, or to shrink yourself into spaces that cannot contain the magnificence of who you are. This moment arrives like dawn after the longest night, illuminating truths you've always known but perhaps forgot along the way. That your presence is sacred, that your absence teaches, that your worth is not determined by who stays or goes, but by the unshakable knowing in your own heart that you are enough exactly as you are. Now, when you begin to walk in this truth, something miraculous happens. The world begins to mirror back to you what you've always known deep down, that you are not ordinary, that your light is not meant to be dimmed, that your love is not meant to be taken for granted. This is the power of letting people miss you. Not as a strategy to manipulate, but as the natural consequence of finally honoring yourself. Because here's what I've learned through every triumph and heartbreak. People only value what they risk losing. The job that never appreciated your talents until you walked away. The friendship that took your loyalty for granted until you stopped being available. The love that ignored your heart until you stopped begging to be seen. This is the alchemy of absence. It transforms how others see you, yes, but more importantly, it transforms how you see yourself. When you stop chasing what doesn't chase you back, you reclaim your power. When you stop begging for crumbs, you remember you're worthy of the whole feast. When you stop explaining your worth to people who can't see it, you finally understand that your value was never up for debate. This isn't about punishing others. It's about honoring yourself. It's about recognizing that you are not responsible for making people appreciate you, only for appreciating yourself. I want you to consider this. Every time you've allowed yourself to be treated as less than you deserve, you've reinforced the belief that you are unworthy. But every time you walk away from what doesn't honor you, you reinforce the truth that you are precious, that you are valuable, that you are someone worth missing. This is how you rewrite your story. Not by demanding that others change, but by changing what you're willing to accept. Not by convincing people of your worth, but by living as if it's undeniable. The journey of letting people miss you begins with the most radical act of all, believing in yourself more than you believe in their ability to disappoint you. It means looking at all the ways you've settled and deciding no more. It means examining every relationship where you're doing all the work and asking, what would happen if I stopped? It means considering every situation where you're undervalued and wondering, what would change if I walked away? These questions aren't about others, they're about you. They're about reclaiming the power you've given away. They're about remembering that you always have a choice. What stops most people from embracing this truth is fear. Fear that if they walk away, no one will follow. Fear that if they stop chasing, they'll be alone. Fear that their absence won't be noticed at all. But here's what I know, that fear is lying to you. The right people will always find their way back to you. The wrong ones will show you exactly why they needed to go. Either way, you win. Either way, you're creating space for what's truly meant for you. This isn't about playing games or manipulating outcomes. It's about aligning with your truth so completely that anything less than what you deserve simply cannot stay in your life. It's about becoming so grounded in your worth that you no longer tolerate what diminishes it. It's about understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. To stop chasing, to stop explaining, to stop begging, and simply let what's meant for you find its way to you. When you begin to live this way, something shifts in the universe. People start treating you differently because you're treating yourself differently. Opportunities start coming to you because you're no longer chasing what isn't yours. Plus, love finds you in new ways because you've stopped settling for less than you deserve. This is the magic of letting people miss you. It transforms not just your relationships, but your entire life. So today, I invite you to try something radical. I invite you to stop proving your worth and start living it. To stop chasing love and start attracting it. To stop begging for a seat at tables that don't honor you and start building your own. Because here's the secret no one tells you. When you let people miss you, you give them the opportunity to rise to your level. Some will, some won't. But those who do, they'll be the ones truly worthy of you. And those who don't, they'll have done you the greatest favor of all, making space for what's meant to be.